Hello everyone. In the present session, I'll cover IP-SAN and FCOE. So we can consider two primary protocols like Internet SCSI as well as Fiber Channel over IP, that is nothing but FCIP. iSCSI is encapsulation of SCSI over IP. FCIP is a protocol in which an FCIP entity such as an FCIP gateway is used to tunnel FC fabric through an IP network. So in the case of FCIP protocol, which uses an entity within the entity, it considers FCIP gateway which is used to tunnel FC fabric through an IP network. In FCIP, FC frames are encapsulated onto the IP payload. So in the case of FCIP, the fiber channel frames are encapsulated into IP, and FCIP implementation is capable of merging interconnected fabrics into a single fabric. So in the case of FCIP, which enables merging of interconnected fabrics into a single fabric. So we can merge the interconnected fabrics into a single large fabric in the case of FCIP. So next we'll take iSCSI, that is ISCSI. iSCSI is an IP based protocol that establishes and manages connection between host and storage over IP. So iSCSI is nothing but IP based protocol itself, which establishes as well as manages the connection between two devices. So those two devices like the host as well as storage over IP. So we can observe the diagram for iSCSI implementation, in which we can observe that there is a iSCSI HBA as well as the storage. So iSCSI HBA, which is located within the server or host. So we are using one protocol, that is nothing but our IP protocol, which establishes the connection between, so this is my host now, that is server, to the storage. So in the case of iSCSI, so we can make use of IP protocol in order to make the communications between the server and the storage. So in the case of iSCSI implementations, so we can make use of iSCSI ports which are located or plugged within the storage array. Also, we are having the FC port which is located on the other storage array. So those ports are connected. If you are using iSCSI ports, so we can connect the port directly to the IP network. So if you are using FC port, we can make use of iSCSI gateway in order to make the connections from storage array to the network, that is IP. So this is how exactly iSCSI implementations looks like. So basically iSCSI is used in order to establish the connections between host and storage over IP. So components of iSCSI. So the major components are initiator, that means host, target means the storage or iSCSI gateway, and an IP based network, that is IP network, are the key iSCSI components. So within iSCSI implementation, so we can consider a host, target device. So the target may be either storage or iSCSI gateway, and an IP based network are the key components of iSCSI communication. So next we'll take iSCSI host connectivity. So here we can make use of standard NIC network interface card with storage iSCSI initiator, a TCP offload engine, that is TOE, NIC network interface card with software iSCSI initiator and an iSCSI HBA are the three iSCSI host connectivity options. So we are having three basic connectivity options, that is host connectivity options with respect to iSCSI. Those are a standard NIC with the software iSCSI initiator, a TCP offload engine, that is TOE, and an iSCSI HBA and iSCSI HBA are the three basic iSCSI host connectivity options. So next we'll take iSCSI topologies. So we are having two topologies, or we are having two implementations techniques by which we can implement iSCSI concepts. The first one is native iSCSI topology and the second one is bridged iSCSI topology. So first we'll take native iSCSI connectivity or topology. So in the case of native topology which does not have FC components. So in the case of native iSCSI topology, it does not contains any FC components. The initiator may be either directly attached to the target or connected through the IP network. So here we are not using any FC components, but the initiators need to be plugged into directly into the target or connected through the IP network. The FC components are not required for iSCSI connectivity if an iSCSI enabled array is deployed. So it is not mandatory that within the topology we need to have FC components. So FC components are not required in iSCSI topology if an iSCSI enabled array is deployed. In the following figure, we can observe that the array has one or more iSCSI ports configured with an IP address and is connected to the standard Ethernet switch. After an initiator is logged onto the network, it can access the available LAN on the storage array. So whenever the initiator is logged onto the network, so directly it can access the LANs which are located within the storage array. A single array port can service multiple hosts. So this is the advantage here. A single array port can service multiple hosts or initiators as long as the array port can be handled the amount of the storage traffic that the host generates. So that means a single array port can service more than one host in the given instant. That means it can give the service for multiple hosts or initiators as long as the array port can handle the amount of storage traffic that the host generates. So that means the storage array is capable enough in order to handle the traffic which are coming from the host device. So here we can observe that we are having the native iSCSI connectivity which does not contains any FC components. So we are having one iSCSI HBA and iSCSI ports through which the server and the storage array are connected. So the server and the storage array can be connected without considering any FC components. So the server and storage array can be connected using a single network, that is IP network. So next we'll take bridged iSCSI connectivity. So in the case of bridged topology which enables coexistence of FC with IP by providing iSCSI to FC bridging functionality. So in the case of bridge topology which enables the presence of FC components with IP by providing iSCSI to FC bridging functionalities. For example, the initiators can exist in an IP environment while the storage remains in an FC environment. So here what I observed is the initiator can exist in an IP environment itself, but the storage remains with respect to fiber channel environment. The initiator, I can say that the initiator which will exist in an IP environment, but the storage or target which will remains within FC environment. So in the case of bridged iSCSI implementation includes FC components in its configuration. But in the case of native, we are not considering FC components. The following figures illustrate iSCSI host connectivity to an FC storage. So here we can observe that we are having, there is one network, that is IP, and we are having iSCSI gateway and FC SAN. We are using FC component in order to make the connections from server to the storage through the network. So this is how the bridged iSCSI connectivity looks like. So it uses FC components while making the communication between server to the storage via existing IP network. So combining FC and native iSCSI connectivity. The most common topology is a combination of FC and native iSCSI topology. Typically, a storage array comes with both FC and iSCSI ports that can enable iSCSI and FC connectivity in the same environment. Suppose the storage array comes with both FC and the storage array must and should comes with both FC and iSCSI SASI ports that enables iSCSI and FC connectivity in the same environment. So now I can have FC and iSCSI connectivity within the same environment. So iSCSI topologies combining FC and native iSCSI connectivity. So here array provides both FC and iSCSI ports. So this here I can observe that here we are having, so this is nothing but iSCSI port. So this is nothing but your FC port. So the array contains both the ports, that is iSCSI ports and FC ports. So which enables iSCSI and FC connectivity in the same environment. No bridge device is needed because here itself we are having iSCSI port and here we are having the FC port. So this is combination of FC and native iSCSI connectivity.